I'm sure you've all heard by now about our kind, good boy Ranta, and how he didn't deserve to be killed by Maki because of his kindness and his good boyness. I get it. Ranta is a cute boy who looks young and timid compared to all the other men that you see Maki massacre. In the fan book, it is told to us that he is very nice to the Kukuri unit. He helps them clean the dojo, is nice and polite to them, and they love him. They want him to, eat the meat that they've made. Which doesn't look like the kind of guy that would actively participate in the active misogyny that the other male Zenin clan members seem to participate in. He doesn't look like the kind of guy who has an active disdain for the women of the clan. Ranta seems like the type of guy to say, well, I'm not actively bullying the women, so it's okay. I'm not making women tie my shoes, so it's okay. So why would such a kind man deserve death? Well, what people who stand Ranta fail to realize is that he was just as much a part of the problem as every other man in the clan. His silence was complicity. Just because he did not actively participate in the oppression of the Zanin clan women, he still stood there and just watched. He watched as Naoya treat women like trash. He watched as they were made to debase themselves for the men of the clan. I mean, look who he extends kindness to. The men of the Kukuru unit. Not once in the manga or anime before Ranta's death did Maki or Mai exclaim that Ranta was at least the one clan member that was kind to them, the one member who stood up for them when things were going too far, or even had a talk with them to try and understand what they were going through. When they left for Jujutsu High, there was no evidence that Ranta had been calling Mai or Maki just to check up on them. These are all things I would expect from a decent guy, like Ranta, the kind man, the nice guy. Unfortunately, that was not the case. He was a cog, just a part of the system that kept the oppression going. There's also the problem of the fake page that has been doing the rounds for quite a while now, stating that Ranta uses his wealth to run orphanages and battered women's shelters and animal rescue, protection shelters, and so on and so forth. I know that's just agenda and it's quite funny, but even if it was real, it does not contradict the fact that he was still complicit in the oppressive system that was going on back home. Those orphanages and shelters would obviously be a great thing for those that could access them. But imagine you're a woman living in the Zenin estate, where you are treated like a second class human, and you hear about these shelters that your cousin runs. Would that not cause even more resentment to build up for that specific individual? He has the power to help, and yet he does nothing to help the people that are closer to him. It would make me feel like I'm even more worthless than the random people that he is helping outside of the clan with these shelters. When Mai dies, and Maki finally does awaken, and starts massacring the objects of her oppression, what is the decision that this kind and considerate young man takes? Well, he chooses to join the forces of the other Zenin clan members to stop and kill Maki. In fact, he puts his life on the line just to make sure she is killed. I really like the fact that Ranta's CT is not one that kills by itself, but instead just incapacitates his target. It is a perfect encapsulation of the very problem of his character. You see, Ranta's CT isn't actively damaging Maki, just as I am sure that Ranta himself was not actively making Maki and Mai's lives miserable by calling them names or being like our favorite boy Naoya. But instead, it holds Maki in place, disallowing her to complete the upending of the Zenin clan, just as his attitude of not helping but doing nothing about the system allowed it to continue. Maki's resistance is what begins to damage Ranta, and yet he does not let up. He screams with all his heart to Jinichi, an active perpetrator of the system to kill Maki. He is willing to put his life on the line for that system, and in the end, he gets what was coming to him for his complicity. I mean, the screams that he was screaming towards Jinichi, saying that, Maki has become just like Toji, that she needs to be killed right now. That's when his passiveness became active complicity in the system. Now, there will be people that say that Ranta was acting either in self defense or that he wanted to protect his family, and to that I would agree. Maki was attacking, and if he didn't fight, he was probably going to get killed. Furthermore, he was witnessing the massacre and killing of his family and extended family. But isn't it funny that he only cares about the male members of his family? The person that was attacking him was part of his family as well. What of her plight? What of her pain? He was perfectly happy with her abuse continuing, or even if she died. I mean, that's exactly what he was exclaiming to Jinichi. That, if she didn't die, the clan would cease to exist. But the clan is evil. The clan is a disease. It needs to cease to exist. And he was going to do nothing to change that. And I'm sure he knew that Mai had come to this state as well, and yet he didn't care that Maki was alone when she was fighting. There was no thought bubble about how Mai is missing. He couldn't give a damn. When it came down to it, he never cared about all of his family, just the ones who had power. If Ranta had used his curse technique to stop the movements of the other Zenin clan members, while also imploring Maki to stop so that they could talk it out, then I would be more inclined to be sympathetic to the view that Ranta did not deserve to die. But unfortunately, that's not what he decided to do. He decided to attack Maki with it, thereby continuing his complicity in the system of her oppression. Others will say that Ranta was also a victim of the Zenin clan indoctrination. He was taught that as a man born with cursed energy and a cursed technique, that he was above those without those things, especially if they were a woman. He probably grew up hearing that and seeing it all around him, and that caused him to internalize it. But the thing is, his victimhood is not on the same level as Maki or Mai's at all, because he benefits from it. It's not the same because he benefits from it. At the end of the day, even if he was indoctrinated, he benefits from the perks that indoctrination confers upon him. He gets to believe that he is above people, even if only internally. Other people will treat him like a better. There are so many advantages socially, financially, by participating in the system as it is. That's why the element of his victimhood does not free him from his culpability. He saw the pain and oppression that the system was causing the women in his family, and still he did nothing. If he was as kind as people make him out to be, then he would have stood up for those poor girls, even at the cost of the benefits that the system confers upon him. We do have an example of an actual decent and kind man, a man that Ranta wishes that he could be, and that man is Yuta Okotsu. Yuta is also a timid, cute, boyish character who doesn't subscribe to what we think of masculinity today, or hypermasculinity, or alpha maleness, whatever you want to put, whatever word you'd like to put to it. But I think that he is someone that should be looked up to. He's helpful, kind, considerate to people, even those that are actively trying to cause him harm. I mean, just look at the scene where he is being bullied at school. He tries his best to get them to stop so that they don't get hurt, even though it would have been acceptable for him to feel that they were getting their comeuppance for being bullies. But instead, he implores and he asks them to stop so that Rika doesn't retaliate. even though they were the ones trying to cause him harm. When Ghetto insults Maki, he immediately goes to her defense, even though Ghetto is stronger than him at that present moment. He offers help to Maki in taking down the Zenin clan, even though the clan has some of the best sorcerers in Jujutsu Society. When he sees injustice, he puts his life on the line to correct it. Just like when he offered to make a binding vow to kill Yuji, even though he had never met Yuji before and he was doing it for his friend and mentor, Gojo. This is an example that Ranta should have followed. This is how Ranta should have been, if in fact he was a holistically kind individual. Ultimately, those that are defending Ranta probably see a lot of themselves in him. I get it. I am one of them. I was a Ranta once in my life as well. I would be kind and courteous to people. But when women were being disrespected, I wouldn't speak up. I feared losing my social standing or the repercussions that would come up from speaking up. I feared losing my social standing or the repercussions that would come from speaking up. And this doesn't just pertain to women. It could be speaking up about minorities, inequality, sexism, just in general. Even better to speak up if you're an individual that benefits from the oppressive system. In the end, don't be a Ranta. Be a Yuta instead. Someone that stands up, someone that speaks out, someone that actually tries to help. If you got this far, thank you for watching this small video. Next week, I will be speaking about the masculinities shown in Jujutsu Kaisen and how Yuta is a different type of masculinity that is a good blueprint that can be followed by boys and men. Well, that'll be it for me, guys. Peace out.